Good evening. This is TenBrink, Superintendent of Genesee Public Schools. I'm sending you this video as an update to the coronavirus that we are all experiencing at this time. I decided to do a video instead of a lengthy email so that you could hear my voice and see my face rather than just reading my words. You know, it's a time where we continue to use the term unprecedented, and that's certainly the best term we can use for what's happening to us and all around us, as these are times that we are continuing to have to react to versus being able to be proactive. Genesee Public Schools is right now responding to executive orders that have been given to us by our governor and by the President of the United States. Decisions that are being made for us by the executive branch at both the state and federal levels. Our Board of Education, unfortunately, is not in a position of being able to make too many decisions as it impacts whether school is closed or open, or whether or not we can provide certain essential services to you and your children. I've been known to say that we are now riding the bus and we're not driving the bus, and that's how it feels. In terms of a home environment for your children, I think it's most important at this time when there's so much panic and fear that is being driven throughout our state in regard to the reaction to this coronavirus, that our children have a very calm and steady routine at home. They sense when we're upset, they sense when we're troubled, and so any way in which we can continue to provide a peaceful environment for them would be something I would highly recommend. The 24/7 news cycle, whether it be on phone, TV, iPads, whatever technology is available, is not healthy for children to be paying attention to on a regular basis, nor is it really that healthy for all of us to be watching that much. So I just encourage you to take this time that you have with your children, to play with them, to love them, to tickle them, whatever you do as a family to enjoy your time together. Play board games, certainly read to them. I mean, the one thing we know about literacy is reading to children is the best thing that you can do for them. We are doing our very best to provide educational activities that you can do with your children. However, please don't make this a priority at this time to have to homeschool your children 6 hours a day. We certainly want them to do the best you can to help them with some of the educational activities that we're providing. At the same time, we don't want this to be a very stressful environment. If we're out of school much longer, we'll certainly step that up in terms of what we're able to provide you as a school district. But for now, enjoy your children, be a family, and we'll continue to provide those educational opportunities that you need to help them continue in their learning and in the skills that they need to be successful in life. Talking about educational activities, we've been notified by the Michigan Department of Education that we're not allowed to provide distance learning programs because we're not able to provide that for all children. There's a federal mandate called FAPE, which is a free and equal public education for all children, and since we can't determine that we can do that for 100% of the children, we're not allowed at this time to provide a fully engaged online curriculum for your students to learn. Now, we may get new direction next week. Things change by the hour in our world, and so we'll certainly keep you updated as we hear different executive orders coming our way. One bit of good news that we did receive from the executive branch of the federal government is that the U.S. Department of Education is waiving the standardized testing requirements for all states. That gives the Michigan Department of Education the authority to waive all of our standardized testing for this year. What does that mean for the SAT test for juniors? We don't know yet. What does that mean for AP tests and for the money that people have paid for those AP tests? Again, we're waiting on direction to hear how that might be handled. Hopefully we're back in school when the AP tests are to be given, but that remains to be seen, and so we'll continue to keep you updated as we get more information in regard to that standardized testing. Our food distribution plan for both Jenison and Hudsonville Public Schools has been highly successful this week. Under the leadership of Mary Darton, who heads up the Hudsonville Jenison Food Service Program, we were able to feed close to 1,000 children with breakfast and lunches every single day. Students, our food service program is a program that is run collectively between the two districts. Mary Darton, our food service director, is doing a tremendous job in leading her employees in preparing breakfast and lunches, and getting those distributed. Next week, we're going to be moving to a 2-day-a-week distribution, Mondays and Wednesdays at Bowerwood Elementary, Sandy Hill Elementary, Bursley Elementary, and Jenison High School. Times will be from 11 to 12:30. The rationale for moving to 2 days a week is, number one, to make it more convenient for parents to pick up the breakfast lunches that they need and not having to come up to those sites every single day. We'll provide a breakfast and lunch on both Monday and Tuesday when you pick them up on Monday, and then Wednesday we'll provide for Thursday and Friday as well. And so we also want to be mindful of social distancing, and this will help us to accommodate that recommendation. Kudos again to Mary Darton for the work that she's doing, along with all of the food service employees that work for Jenison Hudsonville Food Service. They are very courageous individuals who are putting themselves on the front lines to prepare food for those in need and to be at the distribution sites to make sure that our families are getting this necessary food. Also, Hand to Hand, an organization that we've supported as Jenison Public Schools for years, have stepped up, and they are providing food for families that can't get to these distribution sites. They're delivering food to homes, and just appreciate the leadership that Sherry Hondred is providing as the leader of Hand to Hand. We are very, very fortunate and blessed to have an organization like Hand to Hand to be able to get food to the families that need it the most and can't get to our distribution sites. Our Board of Education met earlier this afternoon and made a decision that we are going to move our bond issue from May 5th to August 4th. This is in response to the election officials that have asked us to move our election because of the inability to potentially put all the polling workers together on May 5th. And so we're responding to their request, and also believe that at this time that a bond issue is not of the utmost concern. And so we're going to put that on the back burner for now and move it to August 4th. With that being said, still encourage all of you to get absentee ballots for an August 4th election. These absentee ballots applications will allow you to also vote from an absentee ballot standpoint in a national election in November. So I'd encourage everyone, if you haven't signed up to get absentee ballots on a regular basis from the Georgetown Township offices, that you should do so. It's very convenient. I did get on a list a few years ago, and it's very, very convenient. You can practice your duty as a United States citizen and as a Georgetown Jenison resident in terms of voting on important elections without having to go to the polls. Our school buildings and all of our athletic facilities remain closed to the public. This is per the governor's executive order that we close all of our school buildings to the general public. So please keep that in mind as we move forward. We've heard from the MHSAA that they have yet to cancel the winter sports season and have yet to determine what's going to happen with spring athletics. Just like them, I am very hopeful and very positive that we can get our students back in school and that we can have some sense of a spring athletic season. But again, those decisions will be made in days ahead, and we don't have answers for those right now. There are many, many questions I know that remain unanswered, and I wish that I had confirmed accurate answers for you at this time. And I know one of those questions has to be, will we really be coming back to school on April 6th? We wait for our governor to make a determination whether or not April 6th is the day that students return to school, or if it's going to be extended. I know that question of spring break comes up. I don't know how many of you are still planning on spring break. I know I have canceled my spring break plans moving forward, and I've heard many others are doing the same. If we are moving forward, our spring break is still scheduled for April 3rd through April 10th. So we're planning to continue that spring break unless we hear otherwise from our governor. But we will get our children back to school just as soon as we're able to do so. The big question is, do we have to make these days up? The legislature, Michigan legislature, unfortunately went out on a 2-week hiatus without answering this question for us. And I know there was much debate and dialogue in the House and Senate regarding whether or not these days that our schools have been closed by our governor will have to be made up. We're still waiting for answers to that particular question. And as soon as we know, I will let you know. What about our seniors? I'll tell you, my heart aches for our seniors right now, for parents of seniors, as this is something that has to be weighing heavy on all of them. I can commit to you that we are going to do everything that is humanly possible as Genesee Public Schools, as administrators, teachers, support staff, to ensure that our seniors are able to graduate on time with the credits they need and to have a commencement ceremony. What this means moving forward, I'm not sure. I know we're up to the task. When we're given the permission to do so, we will start working directly with our seniors to make sure that they get what they need in terms of the support to finish up the credits they need to finish and the coursework that may be required if we're back in school. And we'll continue to keep our parents of seniors notified in terms of any changes, but at this point in time, we are committed to do everything we can to support our seniors in every way possible, up to and including not only commencement, but we'd love to still have our senior dinner dance. And yes, the question still remains, is prom going to be a viable option in the near future? Again, questions that I hope to be answering in the weeks ahead. For those that were wondering, Sound of Music has been rescheduled for the last week of April. That tells you that I'm an eternal optimist. We trust that we can be back in school by the last week of April, so that all of us can enjoy being entertained by our thespians with the Sound of Music. It's going to be a tremendous production, and I just can't wait to see this musical. If we're not in school by any chance, we're not able to fulfill the end of April date, we'll be moving that into May with a backup date, but we are going to hold the Sound of Music at some point in time. With that being said, I know this has been a rather lengthy update, and I know most people only watch videos up to about 3 minutes, so this is closing on 15 minutes. So I just want to encourage you to continue to follow all the recommendations, washing your hands regularly, wash them for 20 seconds, keep your social distance for sure, stay at home if at all possible, and then just do everything that you can to remain healthy and to protect your loved ones. If we, like other states, are going to be quarantined, we need to follow the executive orders we're given for the health and well-being of all of our citizens in Michigan, and particularly our community here in Genesee Public Schools. I can't tell you how proud I am of the Genesee Public Schools family. The people that have stepped up continue to step up to meet the needs of neighbors and of friends and of family. It's just been an incredible thing to witness. I am blessed to be a part of this community. I'm blessed to be a part of the Genesee Public Schools family. And so with that, I want to introduce you to a friend that keeps me company here when I'm at my office all by myself. And this friend wants to say hi to all of your children. To all of the children that are now watching this video, and to all of the Star Wars fanatics, Yoda wants to extend a hello with a very optimistic spirit that together we are Jennison, and together we will get through this. Have a great night, and I will be recording another video for you next week with updates. Thank you.